coffee at home. I'm going to go around my little Zoom screen here, and hopefully I'll capture everybody. So I'll call out your name, tell us your name and who you're with, and we'll start with Rita.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rita Simon with the Durango Chamber.
Thank you. Peggy.
Wasn't prepared for that. Peggy McCulloch from the Chamber of Commerce.
All right, Caitlin, I'm going to let you go next.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Caitlin with Community Banks of Colorado.
John Mahoney.
Good morning, Jack. John Mahoney. Jack, I saw your little video at Four Corners. That was great. Well done.
Well,
yeah, that was fun. John Mahoney with Coldwell Banker. We've been on Main Avenue for 40 years. I'm a partner with the office, and I'm also on the bid board. Congratulations to Tim Walsworth and Tanya, our bid staff on the bump outs. They worked really great this year. Also, Jack, there's 3 Australians on the call today. I see Ashley Truitt, one of our great agents at Coldwell Bank, is on the call, and we also have Nanette's Australian Shepherd. So that's 3 Australians on the call today. Good morning, everybody.
G'day, John.
G'day, Ashley.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining, and thanks for watching the video. Like it and share it, as they say. Also, if you, for some of you may not be able to, if you don't have audio, just go ahead and put it in the chat, and hopefully I'll catch that. Colleen O'Kane, you're up next.
Hi, Jack. Colleen O'Kane with Frederick Zink and Associates, the largest CPA firm in Durango. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for being here. And I always tell people, Colleen is my son's second mom. She helped raise him. She was an incredible sitter when Avery was really little. So, Jennifer, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Jennifer with the Chamber. I'm the graphic designer and in charge of the business facts and all that kind of good stuff.
Awesome. June, I'll let you go next.
Hi, I'm June Russell. I own the firm June Russell CPA Inc. here in Durango.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Judy.
Good morning. I'm Judy Austin, and I'm the director of the Grief Center of Southwest Colorado.
Thanks for being here. Mr. Lynch.
Good morning. Casey Lynch with Frederick Zink.
All right. Ashley, are you able to introduce yourselves here?
Yes, good morning. Sorry, I'm not on screen, but good morning, everyone. G'day, I'm the second Aussie, and I'm also from Coldwell Banker.
Next is Susan.
Susan doesn't have audio, it looks like.
All right, check your chat room then. Thank you for catching that, Peggy. Marcia Porter Norton.
Same with her.
Oh, what? Politician?
Good morning, Marcia.
No, thanks for being here, Marcia. Virginia also does not have capabilities. And let's see, I'm just checking a couple things. Cynthia.
No audio. Good morning, Cynthia.
Morning. And Lisa Laughlin.
Morning. I hope you can't hear the snoring dogs. Anyway, today I'm representing the La Plata Quilters Guild, but real curious about healthcare as always.
Well, thank you for being here. Kelly, let's see, morning. She's with American Heritage Railways. That just popped up. Thank you for being here. Charlie Minkler, are you able to unmute and speak?
I am. Good morning, everyone. Charlie Minkler here, candidate for county commissioner, and I would like to invite everyone to tune in this evening to the League of Women Voters Candidate Forum at 6 p.m.
Thanks for being here. Let's see, I'm just checking. Shirley, did I see? She's not able. Shirley, are you able to chat? Shirley Jones with Region 9, don't have a mic, so we'll just take it over for you. Thanks for being here from Region 9. Amanda, she's with Durango Insurance, and the chat caught that one. And let's see, I'm not sure who, 505-716-3031. Are you able to introduce yourself? Wait for it. Okay, thanks for being here. Joe Thine with Animas Surgical Hospital.
Good morning, Jack. Thanks for hosting all of us.
Thank you for attending. And Alyssa, from your iPhone. Okay. Well, I think I got through everybody. I'm looking around the box, checking everything. 26 participants, one more. Who'd I miss? It's like 247, 1475.
Good morning, Jack and Rita. This is Ken Bates with Durango Insurance, and we've been providing employee benefits for the last 35 years here in Durango.
Thanks for being here, Ken. Well, again, thank you everybody for joining. It's been an exciting, I think it's been a couple of years. I'm not going to say too much because I'm sure Nan and Gary from the Southwest Health Alliance Steering Committee will cover a lot of information. And Nan, do you want people to put questions in the chat as you're going through, and you'll try and answer those as you go?
Sure, that would be great. And actually, if you could kind of monitor that for us. So Gary and I are going to kind of go back and forth and co-present. So yeah, if you could look at that, and then, but if you have any, burning questions right as we're going through, we're totally cool with that, and you can ask us as we go.
Okay. And in the meantime, if everybody could mute themselves, since I just said everybody mute themselves, apparently you have to drink if you're playing bingo at home. So have a drink of your coffee. I assume it's coffee or tea. And with that, Nan, I'll turn it over to you. And again, thank you for all your hard work.
Okay, thank you. So everyone, we've got about probably a 20-minute presentation. It's about 20 slides, so don't let that scare you because we can go through them pretty quickly. So Gary and I are going to present this. I'm going to start off, and then we'll hand off to Gary, and then I'll kind of come in at the end. And what we're going to do is give you a background of the Southwest Health Alliance, how we came to be where we are today. And I'm promising you, no one has ever said these words before out of any of your mouths, but this is our goal, that you will leave saying this. Everyone see it? Is everyone on? I'm excited about health insurance, yeah. So we hope that everyone will be as excited as we are once we get through this. My background is that I volunteered for the Southwest Health Alliance in July of last year. And Southwest Health Alliance actually came out of, if you will, like some of the folks in Local First. And then we formed an advisory committee, and I volunteered for that. Is the video on? Oops.
And I think you need to share your screen.
Kind of frozen. Oh, I'm not even on it at all. Whoops. Sorry about that. It's kind of freezing up, so I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
We just don't see the screen.
So did Rita share screen?
Yeah, you should be able to go down and share your screen. She made you a co-host.
Can you see that?
No, I don't see anything yet. You got the Share screen at the
So I just
bottom.
got a note that the internet connection is unstable. Great. Oh, geez.
Dan, do you want me to share? I can share the screen and do it that way and let you run through it.
Yeah, if you can do that.
Okay. Let me pull up our presentation here. And
So that's not showing, huh? Great. Sorry.
It's always something with technology. It simplifies our lives so nicely when it works. You know,
So I
but
thought too, like, so should Gary and I introduce ourselves?
Jack, is that, are you seeing that one now?
No, I'm not.
So no, I'm not.
I'm not sure.
Oh, there we go, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we see it. We are good to go.
Here we should. Okay, I'll.
Okay, Gary, you're driving.
And when you want to jump ahead.
Gary's driving. So I thought just give a little bit of overview too. So with myself, I volunteered, in July of year ago, 2019. And the reason I did is that I thought maybe I could hopefully lend some help to the progress for the organization. My whole career has been in health insurance. So I'm old, I've been in this like 30 years, and it's always been on the underwriting and pricing and kind of actuarial side. So I've been more of the kind of internal kind of geek person, if you will. And anyway, I volunteered, so I'm an individual contributor, as it's called, on the advisory board. And then I thought, Gary, maybe you quickly introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Gary Keil with American Heritage Railways. I'm the Director of Human Resources and Benefit Administrator for American Heritage. I've been doing that since about 2006. And prior to that, it's been a number of years just in benefit administration. And I started on the steering committee at about the same time Nan did, which was in the summer of 2019. And just in an interest of what was going on, particularly from the business side of health insurance for employer-sponsored plans, and particularly from the self-funded plans. And so that level of interest kind of got me involved and learned a lot about what was happening in the health insurance world on the individual and small group market as well.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go through the first 7 or 8 slides, and then Gary he's going to drive here for me, and then we'll go to the kind of the wrap up. And again, feel free to ask questions along the way. We're going to give you a little bit of the history first of how we got to where we are, and then the very, very exciting news, which most of you have probably never thought health insurance is exciting. Hopefully our exuberance for this and where we've come and how we did this together as a community will show through with this. So that's our goal with this. We definitely want to do a shout out to Local First, the Durango Network, and also all of our local providers. So that is Animas Surgical, Hospital Ash, that is Mercy, which is Centura. So all of us came together. Whoops, go back. Can you back up? Sorry, I wasn't even really reading it.
I'm getting ahead of you.
So anyway, the steering committee, basically that is our local Southwest Health Alliance committee, if you will. And our steering committee has 8 or 9 individuals. We'll share all those names with you here in the next couple slides. So you can see who, your neighbors, your local business people, providers who we have on this committee. So our whole goal was to actually try to help answer the question of how could we reduce healthcare costs and basically insurance premiums in our community. So we had heard from businesses, particularly how important health benefits are to offer those, but also how the costs were just growing, quicker than any budget would allow. So that was our ultimate goal with this. And we have been in the works for about 2 years. Once we thought about this issue and thinking about how we wanted to address it, we actually learned about Peak Health Alliance. So you'll hear us talk a lot about that as well. So Peak Health Alliance, could you go back, Gary?
Okay.
Sorry, he's quick on the trigger.
There you go. I'm
I just
sorry.
want to make sure I don't miss anything.
I'll let you tell me. How's that?
So Peak Health Alliance actually was working on the same issue up in Summit County. So how could we, one, consider the costs of healthcare in the rural areas in particular, and could we do anything at the community level to help bring down those healthcare costs? So Peak had done this about a year before us, and when we started working on this in 2018, we became aware of Peak Health Alliance, and ultimately we ended up forming a partnership, and we do have a formal affiliation with the Peak Health Alliance. So they're doing the same thing. They actually rolled out their product at the beginning of this year. So they'll be going into their second year, as we'll share with you our first year. And, okay, Gary, you can move back.
There we go.
Thank you. So this is just a quick snapshot of what our missions and goals were for our Southwest Health Alliance, and you can read those there. Part of this, a big part of this, of course, is education, and we also wanted to support as many of our local constituents as possible, and by that I mean from businesses to individuals to our providers, of course, very important, so our providers of care, and then also, individuals, businesses, providers of care, and we wanted to create something that actually could be out there for the longer term. So was there some way that we could come up with this kind of grassroots model, if you will, to try to bring down the cost of healthcare together? The other, sorry about this, the other, of course, is our local brokers and insurance agents, because they actually help a lot of our businesses and our individuals secure their healthcare. So really all of them together. We didn't want anyone to be left out. And we thought, could we get something better, really the best, by doing this all together? So we've been working on that for a year. Also, we were looking at some options for some of our self-funded groups. So that would be if you work for typically a larger employer. Gary's is one of those. So he actually manages a self-funded program. All that means is that ultimately the employer is on the risk for all of the costs of care. So think of all the claims. And it can get pretty complex. Gary has done some fabulous things with his company, but we also explored that. And that would, the way we would add value there would be that our lower costs that we've negotiated directly with our providers together, that those costs could actually flow through to self-funded options as well. And then of course we wanted to share all of this. We've had numerous meetings throughout the year, I'd say the last 18 months. And really, I guess this whole point about grassroots, and self-reliance, like what can we do that would help all? And so transparency is a big deal with us. If there's any question that you ask Gary or me, we will share all that we know, and we're happy to do that. Okay, Gary.
Ready to go.
Thank you. Here's also our values. So a lot of these I probably mentioned. We see the education there, transparency. We wanted to keep as much care as possible with our local providers. And the way you do that is by your network. Who's in your network? It was very important to us that we actually did not exclude, anyone. Now that being said, it doesn't mean that some doctors will not be in the network, but know that the outreach went to, all doctors, mental health providers, some that have never been in our networks before locally. So we've outreached to all of those, and we'll share a little bit later how we did that. So minimize leakage, what that means. That doesn't mean your coffee cup's leaking or anything, but what we mean by that is that would be, that term is used to describe if someone has to go outside of the network. So think of an insurance network. If they have to go outside of the network for care, that is termed leakage. And so insurance companies and certainly providers, they monitor that and they manage that. And also it helps them with decisions regarding what types of services and types of providers and specialists to have in network. So that was really important too. You know, we know some folks will go to Arizona sometimes even for care. And so how can we keep that care here with our local doctors, with our local hospital, and, you know, not have to basically have someone have to choose to go somewhere else. So that was really important. We're measuring everything. So we have so far. So when we say that we're metrics and data driven, one of the really cool things in Colorado is that there's this, at the state level, there is this database called the All Claims Payer Database. And what that is an aggregation of all of the claims costs and the types of claims from a lot of the insurance companies in Colorado. So we actually, through Peak, accessed that data, and that was really good to help us see where care was happening, what the cost of care was, and this really ties in with, you know, how we worked with our local providers and also how to minimize leakage and be able to create something where we could have the most services possible in network. Okay, thanks, Gary. Next. So here's your steering committee. So Monique DeGiorgio, of course, we probably all know her from Local First Foundation. Jack has been in there since the beginning, I believe. So we have a couple individual contributors, Leanne from San Juan Basin, Doug McCarthy, and myself. Doug actually works in the policy space. He does a lot of healthcare research. Really good perspective to have him on the committee. We have Dr. Gerstenberger. He recently retired, so he just joined in the last few months. Susie Fair, probably everybody knows her. Susie's awesome. We have a really good, I think, diverse set of perspectives here. We have Gwen Unger from Healthcare Durango, Tim Wheeler, he's been really helpful with all this. Gary, of course, brings a really good business perspective. And then Brigham Wrinkle is on our committee as well. So most of these folks have been on the committee, the core, I would say from the, at least a good year. Just the couple that just added recently. So I'll tell you that Peak was impressed with the type of committee that we put together with the different skill sets. So they've been, great to work with, Peak has. And we do have meetings every week with Peak. They are on Wednesdays. So we all give updates on where we are with our progress with everything. So thank you very much to all of these folks, local community. And if you see any of them, please thank them as well. They've done a lot of good work for all of us. Okay. Next, also some local healthcare practitioners. We wanted to do a shout out to these folks. So we actually are working with the La Plata County Medical Society. There's an ad hoc committee that is from there. And then these local providers, particularly Dr. Richard Ciatti and then Karen Zink. I guess Karen's not a doctor, but she's probably everything else. So thank you very much for all of their perspective on this. And we wanted to just let you know too that, all the folks that we have included or pulled into this for good collaboration. So then our geography. So now we're moving into what it is that we actually have, what came out of all of this work, and then what areas you're going to see a new health plan offered in our 4 counties here. The counties on the right, those are all the counties that are actually part of Peak or will be as of 2021. So they started in a couple of the counties and then we're, added to that list. So you actually can see that we're a big majority and we have a lot of population down here that it's very exciting to bring this opportunity to them because, who thinks that health insurance is exciting or, anyone would get excited about this. But we'll show you a snippet of some preliminary premiums and I guarantee you will be amazed. We're looking at about a 30%, sometimes over 30% rate reduction. And I'll tell you from my career and all the work that I've done, I can tell you that I have never, ever said that in my entire life. So to be able to actually pull that all together is a really, it's very exciting. It's very powerful. So we'll show you some of that. And I know that you'll be excited about this. Let me get through here. So I think Gary is going to drive himself on the next view.
I think I might have pulled up the old or the long version, but we'll jump into it. We want to talk a little bit.
Yeah, skip the timeline. Yeah.
Kind of who is Peak and what are they doing? And effectively, they're what's called a health insurance purchasing alliance. It's actually an entity that was created in Colorado statute and hadn't been used for a lot of years. And so when Peak began examining kind of what was going on with healthcare prices in Summit County, they kind of came across this statute that really is not dissimilar to an agricultural co-op. And what it said was that this group could get together and work on negotiating prices directly with providers in an effort of then taking that fee schedule or that negotiation, if you will, to health insurers to look at impacting price. And so as Peak began to do that in 2018, they utilized this ability that was granted through the Colorado statute to form this purchasing alliance. And so Peak Health is actually a health insurance purchasing alliance. They're governed locally, and then the local community has access to Peak's expertise and resources. The Southwest Health Alliance did not incorporate or did not form as a purchasing alliance, but is effectively using the purchasing alliance that Peak has. And so in some sense, we're operating under Peak's purchasing alliance. And so in our work with them, we get to do effectively some of the same kinds of things that they're doing, and we get to do it without the cost associated of effectively forming that organization to actually carry the licensing capability that Peak has. Nan told you that we use strong actuarial data. It's important that we use information that's driven by effectively what data shows is accurate and not just what we think is necessarily going on. And yet at the same time, it gives us an opportunity to use our community purchasing power to really directly negotiate with providers and insurance carriers. And that's really what Peak's been doing over the course of the 2 years that they've really been involved in doing this. And then certainly in the year plus that the Southwest Health Alliance has effectively been doing that. As we really look at kind of the traditional model of how insurance is developed, we say, well, gosh, it's really kind of complex. Mm-hmm. It has been complex, and yet one of the things that we notice is that there's one symbol up there that's common to all of that. And that's really this little symbol in the top left-hand corner that we've used to designate insurers. And what we notice is that insurers negotiate directly for the pricing. And then insurers set pricing. And then insurers offer the product. And so what we really notice is that the traditional model is really driven by insurance companies. And so what Peak has tried to do is to change that model. And as you look at that slide, you would go, well, gosh, you've made it incredibly more complex. And in some sense, we think, yeah, we probably have. But what's happened is that as we've done that, and you could really, in some sense, take that Peak logo, if you will, and almost change it to the Southwest Health Alliance logo and say what we've tried to do is to put the community to be involved in every step of the insurance process. And so we've had opportunities to listen to the community and look at trying to get community buy-in. We've looked at local data of what's really going on in the local healthcare market. And then we've had an opportunity to negotiate rates directly with hospitals and providers and to then solicit bids from insurance carriers. And then to really bring that to actually being able to offer a plan or an insurance product on the marketplace. And so in some sense, while it looks at being more complicated, it's actually driven with the idea of putting more local control back in the whole insurance process. As we look at what Peak has offered and really in terms of what the Southwest Health Alliance is really offering, what we've noticed is that as we have plans for individuals and small groups, one of the things that we really haven't necessarily been able to do is to bring the large group and self-insured businesses in. And so we've still got more work to do. There are things that actually we've got to look at doing. And so as I'm really looking at this, man, I think I probably pulled the wrong slide deck out of it, and so I'm going to kind of change some of this up as we're going in terms of doing that. But some of the things that we've really been able to accomplish at the Southwest that we're actually really proud of is that we've been able to look at reducing insurance premiums. So in some sense, I think what I'm going to try and do is kind of stop this and jump forward and see if I can get you the right slide deck. So we're going to take just a bit of a break here because I jumped in doing that. I'm going to kind of come back here and see if I can find the right one. Whoop. I think this one might be it. Nope. I think that comes from keeping too many windows open on your desktop at some point.
And I'm going to remind everybody while you're pulling that up, Gary, that if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll track that and try and answer the questions as we move through this, probably more to the end of it.
Okay, I think I've come back with the right slide deck now.
That's it.
Hopefully we've got the right one now.
You got it. You got it.
Some of the things that we've looked at accomplishing in the Southwest, one of the first things that we looked at doing is when we started looking at addressing insurance premiums, one of the things that we noticed was that other carriers that were already in the market were beginning to respond to what the Southwest Health Alliance was doing. And so as they looked at us beginning to go to providers and look at insurance companies and look at negotiating prices, one of the things that was really the result of that was that insurance premiums across all carriers are going to have been reduced in 2021 in Southwest Colorado. And while the Southwest Health Alliance can't necessarily directly take responsibility for all of that, we're pretty proud of the fact that we think we did have some impact in terms of looking at reducing insurance premiums, not only with the products that are going to be offered through the Southwest Health Alliance, but particularly through all of the carriers in Southwest Colorado. The other interesting thing is that in the past year, there have only been a couple of carriers that have offered products in the individual and small group market. And the result of the work that the Southwest Health Alliance has done is that there are two new carriers that are going to be introduced. One of those is Friday, and the other one is Bright. Bright Health is really the one that the Southwest Health Alliance is going to be working with. And we've had an opportunity to really develop kind of a local plan design with Bright Health. That's going to be a Southwest Health Alliance branded product that's going to be available. And it's really a plan that has an opportunity to offer more comprehensive benefits, but yet it's really similar to what people are used to buying. So it's going to look very similar to the insurance products that people are comfortable with purchasing and kind of how plans have looked before, but they're going to have some changes to them. And we're pretty proud of those accomplishments. In addition to that, some of the current plans that are being offered in the Southwest today really only use Mercy as their only hospital. And we're pretty proud of the fact that we've been able to include ASH in the network that's going to be offered for 2021. And local practitioners are going to be included in that at levels that haven't necessarily been offered in the current networks. And yet, while we're really looking at focusing on local practitioners in our local hospitals, there'll also be an opportunity to do some statewide things, because we know that if you've got a premature baby, as an example, you're going to need to go to Children's Hospital in Denver. And so that network will actually include Children's Hospital in Denver, and it'll also include University Hospital in Denver. So in addition to having a really local regional focus, there's also going to be an opportunity to effectively look at using a wider regional and Colorado-based network that hasn't currently been the case in the Southwest up to now. In addition to that, we're really going to continue to focus on those values of transparency and accountability, and really looking at having a local self-reliance on healthcare. We really believe that for one of the first times in a long time, the community can now shop local for healthcare just like they shop for other services. Local First has really done a great job in terms of promoting our shopping locally, and we really are excited about the fact that we think there's an opportunity now through this product with Bright Health to actually shop local for healthcare as well. I want to take just a couple of minutes and talk about plan design, because in the end, it's really important is what is the product going to look like? And so there are going to be a variety of plan designs that are going to be offered in 2021. Some of them will have low and even zero deductibles. One of the interesting things around the plan design that we're excited about is the idea that unlimited primary care has an opportunity to be offered without being subject to deductible. So in other words, I could take that plan that may have a $6,000 deductible and yet still have unlimited primary care. And we think that's an interesting option that folks may be really interested in. In addition to that, we've been able to negotiate plans that have flat dollar costs for services like MRIs or x-rays, which may typically have been subject to deductible before, but now will not be subject to that $6,000 deductible or $8,000 deductible or whatever that deductible choice that an individual chooses. But these services can be accessed without that. There's some interesting options in terms of splitting or trading off deductible options with both pharmacy and medical deductibles. And so those could be interchangeable, or you could pick one or the other and really have an option to split those off. And those are really some interesting options that we think haven't been offered or at least promoted in the marketplace before. And the Southwest Health Alliance is excited about being able to do that. In addition to that, there will be an HSA plan that will be offered, but that will be an off-marketplace plan as well. One of the things that we noticed in our work, not only with Peak Health Alliance in Summit County, but also in La Plata County, is that mental health benefits are really, really important. And yet there were really two barriers to accessing mental health in most health plans. One was that you really may have mental health benefits, and the ACA really said that mental health benefits needed to be provided in the plan, but you couldn't find a provider. And oftentimes that was because the reimbursement rates for mental health providers were relatively low, and a lot of mental health providers didn't want to get involved in taking insurance. And so the Southwest Health Alliance has worked really hard to build the mental health provider network in Southwest Colorado. We're excited about what we think that's going to look like. We're actually going to be providing higher reimbursement rates for mental health providers. We've worked to reduce the prior authorization hassles that go along with getting mental health services. And we think by doing that, what it's actually going to do is be able to improve the capacity to actually access mental health services. But in addition to that, the other barrier to accessing mental health was that you just couldn't afford it. Because if mental health wasn't included at a low, no deductible or flat dollar copay, and it was subject to that huge deductible, then effectively you really couldn't access care either. And so in a lot of the plan designs that we'll have, there'll be unlimited mental health outpatient visits, and those can be subject to anywhere from a $0 copay up to a $50 copay. And those are part of the plan designs that somebody could choose. And those are also not subject to deductible. And so we're really excited about the fact that we think mental health benefits will really have an opportunity to be accessed in the Southwest in ways that probably are going to be new or haven't been true in a long time for insurance products that have been offered in the area. Our next slide jumps to rates, so whoop, I want to jump out of that and advance our slide. We're going to jump to rates, and I'm going to throw it back to Nan to take it from there.
Thank you.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. There's a question in the chat. Is San Juan Regional included? They have offices here in Durango. So are they part of the network? Do you know?
I think so, but we need to double check that.
Okay. We'll find out, and then we can we'll send out an email with that answer to all of the participants today.
Yes, and yeah, we could send a quick note to Monique on that.
Okay.
Too, might know that.
I'll text her real quick. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry about that, we should know that. Thank you for the attention to mental health needs. Yeah, great. Thanks, Judy. Okay, so these are see that footnote at the bottom? This is probably the most important on here after you look at these rates. So these are still considered preliminary rates. We pulled several of the health plans that we'll be offering. So you see that first line, Bright Peak, Bright Southwest Health Alliance. So we do have the same rates because it's all considered Area 9 for rating purposes. And then we also pulled the preliminary rates for Friday, Anthem, and Rocky Mountain. So I think all of those are now offered in our area. And again, these are preliminary. The final rates are approved. Well, they have to be approved, I guess, by November 1. But the final rates we usually get about, a week before the end of the month. And that includes plan designs. So all of these rates and the products are regulated by the Colorado Division of Insurance. And the carriers had to file their rates back in May. These are all, if you hear of ACA or Affordable Care Act plans, all of these are that. This represents individual plans. And you can see what type of savings, we're seeing with these. And, again, like I said earlier, I really did not think we would see a premium that started with a 2. So yeah, good question. So the first column is actually for a catastrophic plan. That's only for ages up to 21. And then, yeah, the heading on the other ones this is for a 40-year-old non-smoker. 40-year-old non-smoker. So we just pulled one. Of course, there's no gender rating anymore. There hasn't been since 2014. But again, just as an endorsement of this, I was surprised. Again, as doing this my whole career, I was severely surprised to see rates that would be less than $300. I actually thought if we could be about $350 would be doing well. And this is just awesome news. So it's not to say, the other carriers aren't going to meet some of your needs for sure. But as we just mentioned, we've got some really, really unique reduced cost of care. What is the Friday row? Sorry, I'm seeing no. So Friday is the third row there. If you can't see that on the left. So Friday is right under the blue line, or the blue highlight, which is Bright and Southwest Health Alliance. And then we have Anthem, and then we have Rocky Mountain. Yes, some of them are HSA qualified. And yes, we will give you the slides. Yeah, thank you for all your interest. So also these rates are, of course, before a subsidy for anyone that may have coverage now and you're getting some kind of a subsidy, premium subsidy from, the federal government. That was part of the Affordable Care Act. So for anyone and even a family making up to 400% of the federal poverty level, there would be subsidies that actually drive off of this as well. So the cost could be even less, which is, again, just amazing to see, all of the efforts and work that comes together with this. And hopefully we'll be able to share with you in a week or two that these are the final rates. And yeah, individual plans. Okay, so Gary, you go to the next one.
Yep.
So where do you find these? How does it work? So Connect for Health, that's the actual Colorado exchange. That is the healthcare exchange for some of you that have, are purchasers of individual coverage. Your broker can actually help you get to this. And this is just a quick snapshot. Of course, it's not posted yet, but what you're going to find is you're going to see Bright Health and you're going to see the Southwest Health Alliance. And also, usually these plans are sorted by the lowest cost first. So, really hopeful that, all these should land, they absolutely should land on the first page when you pull this up. And again, your brokers can help you. If you don't have a broker, you can contact us and we can get you to one of our local brokers. And also on the Peak website, there is a list of what we call preferred health brokers. And the whole reason they're preferred is that they went through a certification and some extra training, especially for how this product can work for businesses. So you will see a list there as well. and those will be a list of all the preferred brokers in all of Colorado. They didn't pay to be on that site. We're totally doing it as a courtesy. And again, thinking about the goal and the mission to have a good education. We actually had them go through a little bit of a certification and just on the product, and then also how a health reimbursement for group coverage, employer group coverage could actually work. And we have a slide on that. Okay, so this is a really weird acronym or word. So this thing called ICHRA, that is an individual coverage health reimbursement arrangement. Now, this is a way that it's really cool. This is a way that the products that we just talked about can actually be offered to groups, and the employer group can have a tax benefit for offering individual coverage. Now that might seem pretty weird, right? And the business owners that actually have group insurance right now, whether it's small group or even larger groups, you know, say 50 and above, of course there's premiums there. Even if a group is self-funded, you may find that these rates, I can tell you that likely you will find that these rates and these premiums are actually lower. So the big message here is that we actually brought a mechanism to groups so that you could enjoy some of these lower costs and the benefits of that. Now, the whole ICHRA actually was I guess I call it a law, definitely well, I'll just stick with that. A law that actually was enacted last year. It was actually passed by, you know, our current federal government as a way for businesses to actually have a tax advantage if they would offer this product, and that would be under the auspices of setting a contribution limit. So the way this works is that the employer group, you know, sets some monthly contribution level for their current group plan, or think of it similarly as if they offered this mechanism, ICHRA. It's technically, I'd say, a platform of a way to offer the benefits. And an employer is actually going to set a monthly amount that they contribute. And so if you think about those premiums we just saw, we know that in our local market, our businesses told us that, you know, pay $350, something less than $400 would be a usual like contribution. And certainly, I mean, the survey was done before pandemic and everything, but you know, as a good number, say $300 to $350 a month is what they would contribute. So the employer can do that, and they actually contribute the money tax-free into an individual health reimbursement arrangement. So what that means is they would put, say, $300 a month into every employee's account. And then what happens is the employee can go through their broker or go through Health Connect, and they can pick which one of those products actually is the best for them and for their family. So it actually is a really good way to offer choice to the employees. And something that I think is just very powerful is that, you know, we have heard that some businesses would like to offer coverage to maybe some of their folks that are part-time, and, you know, there's minimum hours that must be worked. And anyway, you can do that with an ICHRA. So if you have employees that work 25 hours a week and they don't currently qualify for your health plan, maybe you have a minimum of 30 hours, you actually could contribute an amount to the part-timers as well if you wanted to help them out. There is one trade-off that when an employer makes the contribution, that if there is any employee who was actually getting a premium subsidy, so what we talked just a little bit about earlier, the premium subsidies actually are not applied for this, so there wouldn't be a reduction in the premium, but those premium rates that you saw should be like the high end of that. Those are all the ones left. So if you want more information, I'm getting a warning. If you get more information on this healthcare.gov, that's pretty confusing. We would just throw out that if you want to know anything more about that, my contact information is at the end. I'm meeting with local brokers, so they will have the information as well. Okay, let's buzz through this. Next steps. Okay, the plans and the rates, all of that will be online November 1st. That's considered open enrollment. Groups can actually look at this at any point in time, but we do know that the rates and products won't be out until November 1st. There's the Connect for Health. Get with your broker. Yeah, get with your broker now. Okay. And then we just want a big thank you to all of these businesses. I hope we got them all here. These are all the ones that actually supported us. There was some, grant money and, because there was costs, even though we have all these, volunteers. So we want to thank all of it. And certainly like Jack, the Chamber, and, some of you, they're even on some of these. So thank you so much. Jack. Oh, here's our connections, contact. There's you can get with my Gmail, Penz-Reuter@gmail.com. Monique, certainly Gary. I've been trying to, help out our brokers, groups. So happy to help any of you. Okay.
Great. Thank you for all the information. And again, I do think it's wonderful that you can still go through your local broker. So I know navigating the whole entire healthcare environment, and especially insurance, can be confusing with everything. And I do appreciate too I always say mental floss every day, but having that built into the plan is a huge benefit, especially during the stressful times of COVID. I do want to plug, thank you again. I know Bank of Colorado at one of our eggs and issues. Literally, Greg Bain handed a check for $10,000 to Monique to be a contributor. The Chamber contributed $5,000. And if you are a business or if you know of any businesses that would also like to help with the funding of this, Monique has put in countless hours to working with Peak and coordinating all this. So I can't say enough of appreciation to Monique and also the steering committee. But if you or somebody you know would like to help contribute to help move this thing forward and continue it, please let us know. Are there any other questions that I've missed in the chat? If you want to tune in tomorrow, you can still sign up at durangobusiness.org. There'll be another presentation from noon to 1. So if you haven't gotten your healthcare fill yet, feel free to register for that. And did somebody have a question? Scanning the.
So I said, Ken, yeah, thank you, Ken. So that was a catastrophic rate for 21-year-old, but he mentioned like the 30 and under. So thank you for that correction.
See, another reason to use your broker.
Another reason, yeah.
Well, and again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Monique and to Nan. Gary, thank you for your expertise during all of the meetings we've had. The team has just done an incredible job. And is there dental and vision component? Do you know if there is?
No.
That's
no, there's no dental and vision as part of this, but when you go to the Connect, you can get other options. Or go through your broker, they can get you options.
Wonderful. Well, again, we have recorded this, so if anybody would like, you can go to the Chamber website later in the week. We'll have it posted, and we'll also make the slides available. But thank you, everybody, for attending this morning's coffee at home, and you'll be getting your ballots soon in the mail, so don't forget to vote and get signed up for the upcoming eggs and issues. With that, I'll sign off, and everybody have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.